Keep coming on up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It is an honor to stand here today and to be introduced by 4 black women, strong women in our community. Thank you to Solidarity to Communications. If you haven't seen the amazing video that they've created for our campaign and telling this journey, you need to see it. It's on our Facebook, and make sure you check that out. Thank you to Neela, Elizabeth, and Chantel for your kind introductions. Thank you to Tiffany for all of the support you have given me. And thank you to my mom. She spoke about she raised me and we grew up together, and that's true. But we also grew up together with the support of my grandmother, who was an educator. And she couldn't be here with us today, but they have never given up on me despite the rough times in our lives. And it is because of them I can stand here today and say these words. I am a candidate for the Denver School Board at large. And I am ready to get to work for our students. There's one group that we cannot leave out, and that is our teachers. Thank you to our teachers for your courage and commitment was on full display this week. And just for old time's sake, education is a right, and that is why we have to fight. We won that fight, y'all. We did it. We won. If we have learned anything over the past few years and the past few days, it is that there is strength in community. We have stood together and fought for our rights. We have gathered together and believed women. We marched arm in arm and proclaimed that black lives matter, that Muslim lives matter, that immigrant lives matter. We have sustained each other with hugs, accountability, and hope. Through experiencing this uncommon grace of community, like Stacey Abrams would put it, I think we have gained another level of insight to the issues we have worked on. So many of our complicated policy issues come down to the simple analysis, does it build community? When it comes to education policy in Denver, the answer is often no. We saw our teachers being disrespected for standing up for themselves at the bargaining table. We see our paraeducators and support staff being paid poverty wages. We see students having to wait for buses at 6 a.m. because we do not care enough to keep the school in their neighborhood open. When we look back on the civil rights era, there is a reason that education was the battlefield white supremacists chose. They knew that if schools were integrated, the community would be too. And when the community comes together, hate and greed does not stand a chance. We are in the midst of a second civil rights era in education. Our schools are once again being segregated, and basic human rights are being waived. Sometimes it seems like the work before us is too difficult and too complicated. But we must follow in the footsteps of those who came before us and ask, does it build community? Then we will have to do the work to get it done. Let me tell you what will build community. We must end the immoral school-to-prison pipeline that destroys lives before it even gets started. We must make sure that every student, regardless of their gender identity, has a place where they can be respected and use the restroom. And that is why, in my first 100 days, I will be bringing forth a resolution that will mandate every Denver school to have a gender-neutral restroom in their main lobby areas. We must stop the education model of experimentation on our vulnerable students. We must reverse the privatization of our education system, because our schools are not a commodity, they are community. When I was a student that struggled with terrible grades, it wasn't some portfolio option that changed my life. It was community. And now, as a restorative justice coordinator at Denver's North High School, I see the same thing in my students that are even with us today. They need in-school therapists. They need to know that success is not measured by a test score. They need to feel protected from the risk of a madman entering the building with an assault rifle. They should not have to feel the split in your soul when you have to choose between a good school and the school in your community. And that is why I am running for the Denver School Board. I know that the folks in this room, together, we can change this city. We can build our community, and nothing can stop us if we hold fast to the values and call on the strength of those who have came before us. And that is why it is imperative we win in November. Because this campaign and this movement is for the students. Thank you, and God bless you.